Well, hello. So what I want to do today is I want to go over how to make a nice looking supply and demand model. Okay. And the reason I care about this is because I appreciate design and I see students that will have something kind of icky like that, where they'll have, some random drawing that they did on Google Draw and it'll look bad. Now we're going to do this online. You don't need to have Photoshop or Illustrator, though you can use those. There you're going to get really quality stuff. But no, we can just use an online paint program to make a nice looking supply and demand diagram or any other diagram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And there I go. All right. So I got Google and I'm just going to look up paint. How easy is that? And then I got untitled paint. You'd think they'd fix their SEO. And then I got this gray screen that I'm going to look at for 2 seconds. And now I've got a nice, simple, paint screen. Maybe you've used this before, maybe you haven't, but I can go and I can click along the toolbar. Let's just take a look at what I got. I got this star and this rectangle, and that's for moving stuff around. So I could draw something with this, with this paintbrush, and then I'm going to take the star and I'm going to go around it and drag it. How easy is that, right? Haven't you kids played video games before? And I'm just going to go edit, undo, undo, and it's gone. Or of course I could use the paintbrush and I could erase it a slow, boring way, but you could do that. Or I could use this pencil to make a thin line, but that's not quality stuff. We want to look at quality. Okay. We want to make things look quality so that when you get a marker who's looking at an assignment that you submitted, they think, oh, okay, this kid actually cares. You want to bias the marker in the positive direction. You don't want your markers to think that you don't care. So now we've got this line tool over here. Well, this is what we want to deal with. Okay. So I've got a thin line, a medium line, a super medium line, and a thicker line, and a super thick line. And what I'm going to do before I get into that, I'm just going to click that star. I'm going to go to that little blue dot in the corner and drag this out just to give me a little bit more space to deal with. How nice is that, right? How nice. And so now I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click this line and I'm going to go for, I don't know, like a medium line. And oh, look at that. I can get a line that goes straight down. How cool is that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click shift. Ooh, made it straight. And then I'm going to take my finger off of my keypad or trackpad or mouse or whatever I'm using. And I'm going to do it again. Oh, it's like an X and Y axis. Who would have thought? The magic of technology, right? And then I'm going to just label that with the A tool. Okay, see the little A there? I'm going to label that P. And unfortunately, there's no Helvetica, I don't think. So if you, oh, there is. Great. So I'm going to use Helvetica because that's usually a nice looking font. If you appreciate graphic design, then you want to go with Helvetica, unless you're a snob, and then some people don't like Helvetica, but who cares? And then I'm going to put Q there for my quantity. And, maybe that P is a little too far off to the left, so I'm going to take that rectangle and just drag it over. Keep it kind of aligned, right? Easy peas. Now, I want to draw a supply and demand, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a different thickness. Maybe I'll go with this kind of like medium, heavier weight. I'm going to draw it down like that. And look at that. I can play with the elasticity, right? I can make the demand curve elastic. I can make it inelastic, but we'll go for something that approaches a linear demand curve. If I hold shift, look at that. It is a linear demand curve. And then I'm going to label it D. Not that hard, right? And I don't mean to be talking to people like they're idiots. Okay, you're not. This is weird. This is weird stuff to learn. Not many people know this. And then you draw your little supply curve. Oh my gosh, that's it. Now you've got something that looks really good instead of trying to fidget around. And then what I'm going to do too, just to keep things really clear, I'm going to also go for a thinner line. So maybe like this one or this one. And I'm going to go from the middle, not from the side, because if I go like this, it's going to look off. I'm going to go from the middle, right from the equilibrium, the market clearing price, and hold shift and pull it back to the P. And I'm going to do the same thing for quantity, for my equilibrium quantity. And look at that. Now I should label those. And I know you guys like to label them like P1, but I'm going to label it P star. And I'm going to label it down here as Q star. And that, my friends, is how you make a nice looking, although slightly imperfect, supply and demand. And it's imperfect because, the Q star is not perfectly aligned, but whatever. It's an improvement on the mush that I usually see. I'm going to drag the whole thing to the top left corner, and then I'm going to pull this in. And the reason I do that is because I want file sizes to be nice and small, because when you're sending it to, your instructor, you don't want to have a bunch of stuff to crop, and you want to keep the file size small so it's easier for them. And sorry, you don't want to have to crop stuff when you're pasting it on, say, a Google Doc, right? It's just easier to have it like that. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to save it. Okay. And that's it. Great. Hey, look, it's Ryan Gosling and Trump. And that's it. Okay.